In another dimension in a dinosaur zoo, which we know belongs to the Dino Charge dimension, and this is one of the few times we get to see a different team in the comics. Kendall, the Purple Ranger, begins to see something strange in the energy in Energems. Obviously, we already know that this has been caused by the infection caused by Rita and Dark Specter in the whole grid. Kendall tries to explain to the other Rangers that they started to lose connection to the Morphin grid for a few moments, and although he doesn't know how this could be possible, he does know that this can't be a good thing. Because of this, Kendall asks the Rangers not to morph until she manages to find the problem, but they think it is impossible not to morph. It is something they simply cannot do. Kendall tells them that Keeper, the mentor of this Ranger team, is investigating and she still hasn't heard from him, so she made the decision to stop morphing for now. At that moment, the alert alarm begins to sound, and although Tyler the Red Ranger thinks it might be Keeper, it really isn't him. The alert sounded because Rita and Dark Specter just entered this dimension along with many soldiers who are terrorizing all the people. Rita and Dark Specter were surprised that another dimension existed, and that the infection brought them to this place. Then the Dino Charge Power Rangers show up, and quickly Dark Specter and Rita realize that they are very powerful Rangers. The Rangers then prepare for Morphin, but Shelby tries to remind Tyler what Kendall had told them. At the command center, Kendall realizes that it was not simply a pulse that disconnected them from the grid, but an infection. As she discovers this, Keeper appears through a portal, but he was already infected and begins to attack Kendall while saying that it is too late as his mistress must have the victory. Despite Kendall's warning, the Rangers begin the transformation, except for the Pink Ranger and the Gold Ranger. This causes the Rangers who attempted the transformation to begin to feel the full power of the infection, and now they are not in control of what is happening. Unfortunately, the 4 Rangers were totally infected and now think they are Rita's soldiers. Dark Specter is very happy with what is happening, and Rita tells him that she will give him everything as promised. In the other dimension in Promethea, Trona is trying to help everyone she can as Rita's soldiers keep destroying everything and attacking everyone. Because there are also beings from other planets in that place, the mayor of the city does not want to help them. At that moment, Billy arrives and hears Trona say that when they find Grace, she is going to talk to the mayoress, but Billy tells her that that is not going to happen because Grace is dead. Trona can't believe what is happening, and at that moment the guards start running because there is an emergency. Outside Promethea, many of Rita's soldiers had arrived along with a monster and started attacking the guards. Billy starts attacking the monster, but she can stretch a lot and is a very big problem. At that moment, 2 members of the Draken Rangers arrive and begin to help Billy. Because Billy had never seen these Rangers before, he thinks that Grace's program had sent him to another dimension, but the Draken Rangers confirm that he is in the right place. Each Ranger holds a limb of the monster and begins to stretch it a lot. Then the Black Ranger cuts off the monster's head and it explodes completely. Billy still thinks he's in another dimension since he doesn't know the Rangers, but Kia takes off her helmet and tells him he's home. At the command center, Trini and Bulk from Draken's universe are trying to repair Alpha, but Trini says it's going to take a while because he has a complicated firewall to restart. Zordon tells her that Billy installed that to protect Alpha from hackers, and Trini replies that it's not so good since he didn't add a self-defense mode. Just then Billy arrives and tells her that Alpha doesn't need that self-defense mode because he's not built to be a fighter. Trini is very excited to see Billy and is that we must remember that the Billy from that universe is dead, but previously she had met the Billy from the main universe. Zordon asks Billy about the other Rangers, but so far no one has seen them, and even though Billy feels like he's only been gone for a few hours, it's been 3 days without any of the Mighty Morphins from this universe showing up. Billy doesn't know what is going on since he was taken to a pocket dimension when the explosion happened, but the Draken Rangers don't know what happened either since they were somewhere else, or so Billy explains everything about the explosion to him. He also tells him that the Mighty Morphin were sucked into the Master Arc, and Trini says that happened to the Omega Rangers as well. Bulk explains to him that when all that happened, they had to escape to Earth with the Cat and the Conehead, which are Yale and Kever. Scorpina then tells Billy that while he was on vacation, Finster has used the Earth as his monster playground, and then Billy asks how they got back to being Rangers again. At that moment, Draken appears and tells Billy that it's because he was generous. Billy gets very angry, transforms, and even though Trini tries to stop him, Billy manages to shoot Draken. Then the two begin to fight until the Draken Rangers manage to separate them. Despite this, they all start arguing as Billy and Draken want to continue fighting, but Zordon stops them all. At Safe Haven are all the villains who helped with this infection mission, and Dark Specter is sitting on the throne. Rita begins to say that the infection is still spreading and now its reach is even greater. Soon their power will no longer have a limit, with the Zeo crystal and her power corrupting them. The Rangers are going to fall just by doing morphosis. He then says that not even the Death Ranger has that much control, and when he goes to answer Rita, Dark Specter tells her that this power doesn't belong to him since he gave it to her and can take it away. Rita tries to answer him by saying that they have taken the power for themselves, but Dark Specter quickly attacks her to make it clear who the real boss is. Rita falls to the floor and Dark Specter tells her that there is no us, this power comes from him, and the victory is his alone. Then he asks her to get up because now they can't rest, and even less when the Morphin Grid now belongs to him. Inside a spaceship are the Hyperforce Rangers, and they are all upset because they are receiving a call from a man who is always calling them. Inside the ship we can also see the Yellow Ranger of Wild Force, and in order to understand all this, you must read the Hyperforce comic, which we are going to read very soon on this channel. The man who always calls them is Draken, but this time he is with Billy, and they are looking for the Hyperforce Rangers to ask for help. The Blue Hyperforce Ranger is very excited because he is getting to know Billy, and since they are from the future, they know all the things Billy has done. Draken had asked them to find the Rangers all over the Morphin Grid, but the Hyperforce Rangers tell him that they have not been able to do so because it is too difficult. The Yellow Ranger tells him that they were only able to find one Ranger from Dino Charge, and we can see that that Ranger is Kendall, who had previously been attacked by Keeper. Kendall says that this was much more than just an attack, so Billy wants to know everything that happened, and the Yellow Wild Force Ranger tells him that the Death Ranger transformed almost the entire Wild Force team. Kendall also tells everything that happened in their dimension and explains that the infection is spreading throughout the grid, making it toxic. Then the Hyperforce explain that they have not been affected by the infection because they travel through time and space using the Hyperstream. Zordon realizes then that Rita doesn't have access to the Hyperstream, but Draken tells her that she doesn't need that since she has the Zeo Crystal and Safe Haven's Master Bow. He also says that soon the grid is going to be completely infected, and they should find as many Rangers as they can before Rita finds them. Although this idea sounds great, the Hyperforce Rangers have been searching the grid for several days and only found Kendall. Besides that, the grid is infinite, and they don't have a map. At that moment, Billy has an idea since Grace left him something and he thinks he might know how to use it. Quickly some Rangers went to the place where the explosion happened, and there was Finster, who managed to escape. Billy asks Bulk and Scorpina to guard the door while he and Trini work inside. Once inside the place, Trini and Billy start to have a little argument since she knows that Billy is bothered by her working with Draken. Billy tells her that it is very stupid since Draken is evil, plus he is also working with Kia and Scorpina. Trini tells him that she trusts Scorpina as she is not the same person he thinks she is, plus she sees life very differently after losing many friends. Now it's not about good or evil, it's about survival. Meanwhile, Billy begins to take out the eggs that Grace had left him and explains to Trini that these are power eggs which contain the power of the universe inside them. These eggs belonged to the Morphin Masters and Grace managed to find them. Billy also explains that if they transform then they can activate these eggs, and this can open the Master Arc. This can help them find the other Rangers or it can also bring them back. Then Trini and Billy start the transformation, and this causes a big explosion in that place. With this explosion the Phantom Ranger appears, who now points a gun at Billy and asks him what he did.